Hi yogis, I'm so pleased you could join me for today's detoxifying mind and body yoga practice. Together, we'll use slow and gentle movements to create the space and clarity to declutter the mind whilst incorporating twists and side bends to help cleanse our digestive and lymphatic systems of those harmful toxins and impurities. We'll start today's practice in child's pose, making your way towards the back of the mat. Bring your big toes to touch, knees hip-width distance apart, and we'll begin to walk our hands out along on the mat and melt our forehead down towards the ground. Begin to bring your awareness to your breath. As you begin to deepen each inhale and lengthen each exhale. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling back up out through the nose. Begin to look up towards the hands. We'll gently hover our body forward through tabletop and begin to sink your hips heavy towards the mat as we come into upward facing dog. Our wrists are in line under our shoulders. Begin to drop your head back as we open our chest. Engage through the legs so your knees hover off the mat. And on an exhale, drop the knees back down onto the mat and send the hips back towards the heels as if you're about to come into child's pose. Inhale, float the body forward once again. Drop the hips heavy. Engage through the legs, knees come off the mat. Dropping the head back, open through the chest, open through the neck. And exhale, sink the hips back towards the heels. Bring some gentle movement down through the body, through the spine. And we'll do that once again. Inhale forward, drop the hips heavy, roll the shoulders back away from the ears as we open up through our chest and our heart space, creating more space and more room for the breath to flow. And exhale, send it back to child's pose. Just getting the blood flowing down through the body, beginning to cleanse out the system. Spread your fingers nice and wide, tuck your toes under. We're going to make our way to our first downward facing dog of the practice. Lift your knees off the mat, send your hips high. We'll begin to pedal out through the legs, dropping the weight into one heel at a time, bending and straightening opposite leg. Coming into our first inversion, reversing our blood flow and stimulating our lymphatic system, which helps to rid the body of any toxins, any waste, getting the blood circulating, getting it back moving through the body. And coming to stillness in our down dog, we're going to sweep our left leg up high into three-legged dog, grounding through both hands evenly, keeping the hips and the shoulders level, keeping the strength through the shoulders, pointing the left toes high, and releasing stress, sadness and fear with each exhale. On your next exhale, draw the left knee in towards the chest. We're going to hover the body forward so the shoulders come in line over the wrists. And plant the left foot in between the hands. Drop the right knee down onto the mat. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked. And on an inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, coming into low lunge. Open through the chest. And we'll take our twist. Bring your left hand back behind you, resting it towards the back leg. And on an inhale, reach the right fingers even higher. twisting from the belly, opening through the heart space, stimulating the spine, beginning to wake up through the body. Inhale back to center, sweep the left arm back up and overhead, plant the palms together, draw the hands down through heart center. We'll come into another twist by clipping our right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Twist from the belly and look over the left shoulder. We're strengthening through our lower back and increasing our flexibility. Drop the shoulders down away from the ears and relax through the jaw. And we'll come back to center, sweep the arms back up and overhead. Slight back bend as we begin to look up towards the sky. And exhale, float the hands forward, planting onto the mat. We're going to tuck the toes under the back foot if they're not already. We'll pivot on the foot. We're going to make our way into a wide-legged forward fold. Walk the hands towards the center of the mat. Both feet parallel with the short edges of the mat. And fold over your legs. Maybe taking hold of opposite elbows, if that feels okay for you. Or maybe taking hold of the outer edges of the feet or the ankles and drawing your body closer towards the legs. And folds are great for boosting circulation and stimulating the abdominal muscles. And stay with that breath that we created at the start of our practice. And gently release, plant the hands back onto the mat. We'll take a twist from here. Inhale, sweep the right hand high. Twist from the belly, looking up towards the right fingers. Open through the chest, through the back body. And we'll release and twist the next side. Right hand plants on the mat. Left hand reaches high. Grounding through both feet evenly. And gently release back into our fold. Walk the hands back up towards the top of the mat. Pivot on the feet. Coming back into our low lunge. Plant the hands on the mat. We're going to step the left foot to meet the right. Into downward facing dog, or however you can make it there. You could pedal out through the legs again, just to make sure we're not taking any stiffness or tension away from each pose. And then when you're ready, we're going to take our three-legged dog on the next side. So we'll begin to sweep the right leg up nice and high, pointing through the toes. Trying to keep the hips level, shoulders squared on the mat, relaxing through the neck and grounding through both hands evenly. Imagining with each inhale that we're growing a little bit taller, we're creating more space. And with each exhale, we're releasing and letting go of what the body no longer needs. Releasing toxins, releasing waste, whatever no longer serves us. Begin to draw the knee in towards the body and step it up in between both hands, coming into our low lunge on the next side. Keep the back toes tucked or untucked. And sweep the arms up and overhead, open through the chest. Begin to take our twist, bring the right hand to the back leg as we sweep the left arm up and overhead. Reaching through the left fingers. Sink the hips heavy. Shoulders relax down away from the ears. And relax the muscles in your face. Coming back to center, sweep the right hand to meet the left. Plant the palms together, hands through prayer, coming down through heart center. And we'll clip our left elbow to the outside of the right knee as we take our twist even deeper, looking over the right elbow. Twist from the belly, relax through the shoulders. Remember to relax through the jaw and stimulating our muscles as you begin to work deep into the belly, twisting and rinsing. Coming back to center, inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead, taking a deeper back bend, looking back, dropping back. Begin to float the arms forward, planting the hands down onto the mat. Picking up the back leg, and we'll step the right foot to meet the left, back into downward facing dog. Taking any movements that you need to hear, maybe staying in stillness or walking out the legs. Whatever feels right for you right now. And when you're ready, we're going to walk our hands back towards our legs, nice and slowly, making our way into a forward fold. Our knees are deeply bent, our upper body's hanging heavy over the legs. Maybe taking hold of opposite elbow. And releasing and beginning to try and relax a little bit more. Coming into another inversion. Allowing the blood flow to reverse. Release the hands back down towards the mat, coming down through a squat, planting the fingers, picking the heels up off the mat, sink the hips heavy towards the heels, drop the knees down onto the mat, and we'll untuck the toes. Coming into camel pose from here, we're going to bring our hands towards our back body, fingers pointing down, shoulders down away from the ears. Open through the chest as we press our hips forward. Perfectly fine to stay here if this is enough for you. To take a bit of a deeper back bend, you can drop the head back as you press the hips forward. Option to stay here. Or to go to the full variation, you can maybe take hold of the heels and drop back a little bit deeper. And whichever variation of camel pose that you're in, just know that's perfectly fine for you today. That's where you need to be. And whichever variation you're in, we're stretching through the entire front body as we create more space for the breath to flow, increasing our lung capacity, noticing and feeling that breath. Gently come out of the pose the same way you came in and send the hips back down onto the heels. And from here, we'll walk the hands forward, cross the ankles over one another, coming back through to sitting. Coming into a seated twist from here. Drop the left knee down onto the mat, step the right foot over the left. Inhale, reach the right hand high, twisting, looking over to the right. Plant the right hand behind you and begin to lift the left arm up and overhead. Clip the left elbow to the outside of the right knee as we twist and look over the right shoulder. Both hips are connected with the mat. Twist from the belly, shoulders relaxed down away from the ears. And imagining with each inhale, we grow and find more length through the spine. And with each exhale, we're able to twist and go deeper into the pose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, deepen. And gently release, look forward. Uncrossing the arms. Coming into shoelace legs from here. Drop the right knee down onto the left. Walk the hands out long in front of you and begin to fold over the legs. Soften through the arms, soften through the shoulders. Allow the head to hang heavy. Hips stay connected with the mat. And relax through the body. And gently come out, come back up, sitting nice and tall. And we'll take it to the next side. Uncross the legs first. We're going to plant both feet onto the mat. Bring your hands behind you, fingers facing forward. Drop the knees side to side. These poses can be quite tight on the hips and the legs, so we want to make sure we're not going to take any stiffness or tension away with us. Now we're ready to take it to the next side. Drop the right knee down onto the mat. Step the left foot over the right. We're going to inhale, reach the left arm nice and high, twist over to the left, plant the hand behind you. Inhale, sweep the right arm up and overhead, clip the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And twist and let go over the left shoulder. Coming back to your breath like we did on the other side. Inhale, finding that length. Exhale, finding more depth, twisting deeper. Imagining that we're rinsing out through the body. Come back to center to release, look forward. Bring the arms back to center. From here, come into shoelace on this side. So we'll drop our left knee to rest onto the right. Lift and lengthen through the spine. Walk the hands forward and fold over the legs. Allow the head to be heavy. Allow the chest to rest onto the knees. And surrender into the mat. Letting go of worries, letting go of stress. Looking up towards the top of the mat, slide the hands back towards the body. Very gently uncross the legs. Notice if they're a little bit stiff, a little bit tight. We'll plant our feet and plant our hands behind us, and we'll begin to drop the knees side to side. From here, we'll make our way onto our backs. Relaxing ourselves onto the mat. Bringing our arms into cactus, bending at the elbows, palms facing the sky. And coming into a twist, drop the knees over to the right and look over to the left. Making our twist nice and restorative. Completely relaxing every muscle. Letting go of any tension. Allowing the body to become heavy. Notice the weight of the body as it hangs heavy on the mat. Bring the head back to center and bring the legs back up. We'll take our twist on the next side. Drop the knees over to the left. Bring the gaze to look over to the right, maybe closing the eyes to keep your awareness inwards. As you twist from the belly, find stillness. Find that sense of calm, that sense of peace in the body and in the mind. And we'll gently release out of our twist And we'll make our way into our final resting pose into Savasana. Walk your feet nice and wide on the mat, arms alongside the body, palms face up, shoulders nestled under. I encourage you to stay in your Savasana as long as you can, but this is where I'll leave you for today. Thank you very much for joining me for today's practice. Namaste.